Ready? All right. This is Feeney Talks with Friends. My name is Eric Feeney. I'm the founder and president of Friends of Feeney. Our mission is to help children and families that have heartbreak or tragedy. And this is a podcast called Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk with wonderful people from the community that are doing great things. And today's guest does wonderful things in the community, in the West Hartford community, in the WeHa community. How you doing, Ronni?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Eric. Thanks for having me on the show, and I'm glad we finally were able to have this happen.
Yeah, long time coming. This is Ronni Newen from WeHa.com.
Yep.
In addition to many other things. I'm wearing my shirt. You like my shirt?
I love your shirt. I'm so glad you're wearing that. I have one of those too. I should have worn it.
This is the first.
Except for I'd be shivering if I were wearing short sleeves right now.
It is a little chilly in here. This is my first Vineyard Vine shirt. That's very cool. I feel special. This is my welcome to West Hartford moment. I got this at the Elmwood Barbershop.
Okay.
Like a block down from my house. I was walking my dog and I saw, first time I met Tom Hickey was in there. So first time I met him, had to get a shirt. So I wore it especially for you.
Thank you.
WeHa.com.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I just want to, this is episode 39, Ronni Newen. Our last guest was episode 38, Kenny Mayne. So go back and check it out. He was on ESPN. 37 was Chief Riddick. 36 was Mayor Sherry Cantor. Those friends of yours?
They are friends of mine. Well, except for Kenny Mayne. I do not know him, but Chief Riddick and the mayor are both friends of mine, yes.
Yeah, nice. I know I said, Chief, you want a message? Ronnie's coming up on the show coming up next week. I'll ask her a question or I'll see Ronni. And you told me you saw Ronni today. You saw Chief today.
Yeah, I saw him probably about an hour ago. I was at a reception for one of the police longtime employees. Captain Eric Rocheleau retired, and I went to wish him good luck in his retirement, and the chief was there.
And are you going to write about it on the WeHa.com?
I will be mentioning it in my Business Buzz column next Monday.
And Business Buzz comes out every Monday?
Every Monday. It leads our Monday morning newsletter, which comes out at 6 a.m. And then at some point during the day, usually around lunchtime or later in the day, I'll share it on Facebook also. Yeah,
Owen knew all about you. He goes, I get all my information from Ronni at WeHa.com. That's great that she's coming in. So it's good. How many people do you think you reach with the WeHa.com?
Well, it's funny you asked that question, not because I was coming here, but because I was talking to someone else about our statistics. This month, the statistics have actually skyrocketed and been higher than in any kind of a normal month. I mean, we've had months where there's been like a lot of breaking news, like when the pandemic first started, our readership was just absolutely outrageous. But we've had 358,000 page views in the last 30 days.
58,000.
Which, considering that included like the New Year's holiday, that's a huge number. But there have been a couple of stories that have really resonated with people that have gotten a lot of page views. One was about a couple who moved here from Southern California, and they kind of picked West Hartford out of Google, really. I mean, they started looking for places that they could raise their family that would be good places to, bring up their young daughter, and where there was just a good quality of life, and where they could also access international airports and trains to New York. And they work in the movie industry. Well, he's a producer and she's a PR person. And they realized when the pandemic hit that they could kind of work anywhere. So they picked West Hartford and moved here maybe a little less than a year ago and are loving it. And that story, for whatever reason, just got a lot of engagement. And
did you meet with them and have a sit down?
I did.
Oh, nice.
Sat down, had lunch with them, talked to them, and called back and asked a couple more questions, because sometimes that initial interview, I realize as I'm writing, I need some more clarification. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I think I saw that. That was really cool. And then New York Times did something, top 10 places to live outside of New York, and West Hartford was on there.
West Hartford was in there, yeah. So West Hartford makes a lot of lists, but when it's a list in the New York Times or in U.S. News and World Report or Newsweek or, I don't know, Better Homes and Garden, like a national, well-known media outlet or some kind of really respected list, then I'll usually write a story about it, and people love to hear that.
Didn't you write? You have a tweet pinned to the top, and it's like someone won an American Idol or someone did something at a concert.
Yeah, I
that
probably
you knew.
need to untweet that, or unpin that. But
Which one was that? That was a great story, though.
so I'm gonna mess up her first name, but one of the Bellucci girls, Erin Bellucci, or forgive me if I've gotten them mixed up because there's two young women who are pretty close in age. One of them, they were at a concert, Michael Bublé concert, and he was having some kind of contest during that concert, and she got up on stage and sang, and it was just absolutely unbelievably awesome. And I wrote a story about it, and it got included on the Today Show.
That's what it was.
So it got a mention in the Today Show, and I was always a huge Today Show fan, so I thought it was really cool that I got that shout out. So I've had that tweet pinned up there for like
I'm
2
a huge
years.
fan. My wife loves Michael Bubbles.
Michael Bubbles, huh?
Loves him. But he's a good singer. He's good stuff. The Christmas is great. His Christmas album.
So if people see our Twitter feed and click on that link, you can hear the performance, and it really is amazing. She did an unbelievable job.
Like spontaneously picked out of the crowd to sing a Michael Bubbles song?
Yep.
Or no?
No, to sing her own. Oh gosh, you're gonna ask me what the song was, and I don't remember, but
That's fine. That's fine. So you're an editor and reporter.
Yep.
So what are 3 things that make you great at your job? What are 3 characteristics that make you, or if you were to train a mentee, what are 3 things?
So to me, the most important thing is being accurate, and that really, if I put something down on paper, I've checked it out. So, and it's taken a really long time to build that trust in the community, but to me it's really important that people can believe the information I put out there. So I spend a lot of time searching and just double checking, making sure I've got words spelled correctly, making sure I understand the meaning of a word that I'm using. So, I mean, I think that to me is the most important. Secondly, it's writing things in a way that people can relate to, and I don't necessarily always do this, but just breaking it down into pieces so that people can understand and the story flows. And when I say I'm going to follow up on something and get back to someone, I do. I mean, I'm sure there are times that things slip my mind. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate, but I think that, if somebody asks me a question or says, you included this in a story, what about that? Do you know anything about this? If I say I'm going to get back to you, I'll look into it, and I will.
Just be accurate, accountable, and precise. I like it. No, your stories are very. Now, is this true? Most
I like
newspapers.
adjectives too.
Yeah, I do enjoy reading. You have dialogue, and you know people talking, and you mix it up, and it's just very. I want to say easy read. Is that? I don't know. Hopefully, that's not offensive. Is it an easy read?
No, it's not.
Friendly read, print friendly.
Well, I try not to be, really esoteric. I try not to use, my kids used to always tease me about using big words. But I don't say I use big words, but I like to use strong words.
Yeah.
So not necessarily, the word very. I'll come up with an adjective that's different. And one thing that, my background in journalism was as a features writer, and that's really my comfort zone. So when you're writing features, it's definitely more descriptive. You write a lead that really just hooks people in at the very beginning, and it doesn't have to be, a news lead is very different from a features lead. A features lead can be much more playful. So when I'm writing about a topic, I really want to make sure that I'm not repeating the same words a lot. So I'll write down or type out a list of adjectives that have to do with the topic, and then I kind of mix them up as I'm writing.
As a 3rd grade teacher, we call them juicy words. We don't want to say good, bad, happy, and sad. Those are boring words. We want to say elated, overjoyed, thrilled, and also said. Said is dead. We want to say exclaimed, shouted, replied.
But it's funny, in the news business, you use said. You use said or maybe noted.
We're reading
or
BFG
explained.
in class, and the kids are like, said every other word. BFG said, BFG said. I'm like, oh, totally went against my whole teaching these kids how to write. And is it true that most newspapers are written at a 7th grade level? I've always heard that.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
Yeah, probably.
The Waterbury Republican, I was a paper boy for years, and I think one of my people I delivered to mentioned that once, and it kind of stuck with me. You don't know, never heard that? Or?
I never heard that, but I didn't go to school to become a journalist. I studied political science and economics. So it is it's my second career. So I never took a course where somebody said write at a 2nd grade level.
And have you ever made a grammatical mistake that you saw and you were like, oh, or do you check it that? Have you made a mistake?
Oh, absolutely. I make mistakes probably every day. I have.
Is there a way to go back and edit it after the fact?
Yes, that's one of the great things about
great.
Digital journalism is that, once it's in a
print form, it's done.
Once it's in our newsletter, then that's out there. I can fix whatever that links to, but that newsletter goes out in an email, and I can't pull it back once it's out there. But I can fix the story itself, and every once in a while I mess up a headline. I did a really bad one the other day where I used the word controller instead of comptroller, and that was in a headline. Hopefully not too many people caught it.
Sometimes spell check, you get so dependent on, I'm terrible at writing text messages or emails. I have to read my emails to parents or when I send them out multiple times. And the trick is reading it backwards.
My computer autocorrects.
Do you do that? Read it backwards? Is that a trick?
I do sometimes do that. I do if I'm editing something that's going to be in print and it's like the final edit. So I also am the editor of West Hartford LIFE, and I've got to be extremely careful about that because it is in print so I can't. I have to print a correction if there's an egregious error.
And how long have you been doing West Hartford LIFE?
About 3 years.
In a quick comparison, Venn diagram, West Hartford LIFE to WeHa.com. Similarities and differences?
So there's some similarities and there's some overlap of content. One of the biggest differences is that WeHa, I'm writing about something that's happening today or happened yesterday, or there's a sense of urgency. Whereas right now, I'm working on the March issue.
Oh, yeah.
So
Gotcha.
it's January. I'm working on the March issue of West Hartford LIFE. So I really need to think about things that are a little farther in the future, and it's another season, and things need to. Well, we do a lot more what we call evergreen stories, where they're not tied to any particular event
time
or
frame.
Yeah, they're
date.
Basically evergreen. They can run it at
evergreen. I get it now. The tree
run it
lasts
anytime.
forever.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So they don't get dated. But
Nice.
there's definitely overlap. I adapt some of my WeHa.com stories to West Hartford LIFE. I write a lot of restaurant stories for WeHa.com, and I'll do a dining roundup for West Hartford LIFE, where I'll pull pieces of those stories.
Now, who started the WeHa? Because when I first moved here 13 years ago, I'm like, I'm never calling it WeHa. Who dare calls it WeHa? And here I am, rocking the shirt, proud to be a WeHa citizen and resident to teach and live here. So
well, that's a really good question.
Where is this from?
So I actually never, ever, ever call West Hartford WeHa.
Okay.
I never have. I probably never will, but it is our business. So the WeHa name predated the website, and I remember a friend I used to run with had a hat that she'd bought at Bennett's Card Shop, which was at the corner of LaSalle Road and Farmington Avenue, where Blue Mercury is now.
Yep.
And she'd bought this hat there. It said WeHa, and I thought it was cute, but I thought, oh, well, I'll never call the town that.
Right.
And that was before we started the website. So when I had been doing a previous hyperlocal news job and had gotten laid off along with most of the rest of the company when the company was going in a different direction, I had started my own business, was doing that for a while, and got talked into starting this hyperlocal news website. Our sales director, who's still our sales director, Kosik Makati, had purchased a couple of URLs, so a couple of domains, and the ones that had West Hartford spelled out in them were all taken already.
Gotcha.
So there was, the West Hartford News, there was West Hartford CT, which belongs to the town. So really anything that we wanted a .com. So anything was taken already. So he bought WeHa with the hyphen, because WeHa without the hyphen belongs to a stone company in Germany.
Oh, all right.
And
You already
I know
answered the
that
question I was going to ask.
Well, exactly.
Perfect.
So a lot of times people will send me, like a Facebook message, and if you type out weha.com, it pulls up the website.
Yep, I've done that.
And well, if you do it without the hyphen, you'll see it pulls up a firm that says alles für Steinarbeitung. So everything you need for stonework, basically, literally translated.
Nice.
So I think people email editorial@weha.com, which is my email, but if they leave out the hyphen, it just goes into nowhere land.
Yep, she can be reached at we-ha.com.
Correct.
Editorial. No, you write wonderful stories. I want to thank you. You mentioned Friends of Feeney when it started in 2016. We've done multiple fundraisers, and you always put us in the business buzz, and I can't thank you enough. No, the community looks forward to your business buzz. Business buzz?
Business buzz, yeah.
Monday morning, coworkers will see, did you see it in Business Buzz Monday morning at school? So that's really cool.
It's funny how that's taken off too, because it's evolved over the years.
What inspired you for the Business Buzz? When did that kick in?
Well, so I actually started it at my previous job. It was kind of one of those in the shower inspirations, like, oh yeah, I'll just do some like bullet points. At the time, thinking just stories I've already written, just highlighting them, and it's just kind of a good summary of business news from the past week, and it'll be quick and easy. And then I realized it kind of needed an introduction. So at first, I had kind of just a standard introduction, and then people in the community really like to tell you what they think. So a few people would complain, "Why do you always include that introduction? Just put the bullet points." But I don't like that. I like, it has to have something.
Don't you start going where you went out to dinner that day? And
well, that's evolved more at a time.
you went for a run, you walked your dog.
Those are things I do a lot.
Yeah.
So I kind of started talking about the weather, and anyone who knows me knows, like, I hate winter. I don't like being cold. I love the summer. I love to go to the beach. I like to just like be out in nature when it's warm, and I don't have to be bundled up wearing a coat and mittens like when I came in here today. So I'd kind of start talking about the weather.
Gotcha.
And every now and then I'd talk about my kids. And as the journey has gone on, my daughter graduated from high school and went to college, and my son was in high school, and then he graduated and he went to college, and then my daughter got engaged. And there've been kind of these big, milestone, kind of transformative moments in my life. So I've included a little bit of information, and it seems like it's resonated with people, and they felt like
personal connection.
Yeah, they know me.
Yeah.
And then I had my older dog, and my dog died, and people, really understood that and understood that pain. And then we got a new dog. We had this puppy, and she's really cute. So I would write about her, and I try to include her picture in there on a pretty regular basis. And
what kind of dog is that again?
She's a Bearded Collie.
Bearded Collie.
So,
Hashtag Bearded Collie.
Hashtag Bearded Collie. They're kind of a rare dog these days. The first one we got was completely by accident.
Was it a Bearded Collie as well?
Well, we think he was. We never had it. Well, it was back before anybody had their dog's DNA tested, but we got him from the animal shelter in Alexandria, Virginia, and we lived in the DC area at the time. And they told us he was a Border Collie Terrier mix, and that he would be kind of Cocker Spaniel size, and he ended up being like 65 pounds and a lot of fur. And one day somebody said, "Is that a Bearded Collie?" And we had never heard of it. So we started looking into it, and he seemed to be pretty much completely Bearded Collie with like a little touch of something else thrown in.
That's so cool. And what was his name?
His name was Hobbs.
Hobbs?
Hobbs.
Like Calvin and Hobbes?
Exactly like
Nice.
Calvin and Hobbes.
And your current dog is?
Millie.
Millie. That's right.
We had one in between who was a Bearded Collie also, named
wow.
Scarlet.
Nice.
And Scarlet, we had her till she was a week shy of 16.
That's awesome.
And Millie's about 2.5.
I never considered myself a dog guy, but now we have a Labradoodle named Barkley, and I can't be without him. I was like, keep him in the kitchen. Now it's like, I gotta go to bed. I need someone to cuddle to keep me warm. But it's great. All right, last question about the reporting. This is Matt Dick's storytelling game. First, last, best, worst. Do you have a story that you've reported on? Your first story ever, or first story, your last story, like your most current story, your best story, and your worst story. Any order you like.
So my first story, I can tell you that, and this was not on WeHa. This was back when I was freelancing for Imprint, which at the time was the owner of the West Hartford News and the Newington Town Crier. And I wrote a story about the Newington Chamber of Commerce's brand new office. And the head of the chamber at the time was Leon Davidoff, who is now, this was probably in, Leon, I'll kill me if I get the year wrong, but I'm guessing it was maybe 2000, 2001.
Nice. Leon, hold on. Leon, this guy, Leon, wait.
Exactly.
Leon.
So we're still friends there.
This is at the Lions Collaborative event. Sorry.
So anyway, that's how long I've known Leon. I interviewed him for that story. And actually the way I ended up writing that story was kind of funny. One of my neighbors was doing freelance photography for the West Hartford News. And I was just talking to her and I said, did they ever ask you to write the stories? And she said, oh gosh, no, I don't want to do that. And she actually had minored in journalism in college, but she does not like to write and she didn't ever want to be asked. And I thought, wow, I had taken a sabbatical from my insurance and risk management career at that time. It was shortly after I'd moved to West Hartford. And she said, I said that I used to write for my paper in college. Hey, I think that would be kind of fun. So she gave my name to the editor, and the editor called me and assigned me, without ever seeing a writing sample, assigned me to cover this story, which I did, and I guess it was okay. And I started freelancing for the West Hartford News, and
here you go. Now
and there you
the rest
go.
is history. That's awesome.
So that was my oldest story.
Yep.
The very first one. Another story, actually, and this was my first kind of modern, non-freelance story, was I wrote about the bookends of Elmwood. So it's kind of one of my first restaurant stories. Tapas, which is no longer there anymore, but now it's Frida. So just, right down the street from where we are right now, and the Corner Pug. And Corner Pug is still there.
Yep.
So both owned by Ted Vetter. I think now his son is the owner of Corner Pug. But that was a story I wrote for what at the time was called Living in West Hartford, which is now West Hartford Magazine. And that was my first story for that publication.
And you talked
Eventually,
about
I was
every
editor.
restaurant in between? Or just the
yeah.
two ends?
So those were two of my early stories.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to remember what I
You have a
wrote
best and a
this
worst?
morning. I wrote a story about the town improving the climate change crisis resolution. So that was what I wrote today. Last night I wrote Business Buzz, and I also wrote a story about Save Connie the Whale, which is the 62-foot replica of a sperm whale that's on the grounds of the Children's Museum, but it needs to move because the museum property is being sold. And
just today I was fishing through emails and Google Drive at school, and it's like I got to one where my daughters were like 2 or 3 in front of Connie, and I'm like, let me email it to myself so I could have this for use, maybe social media post or something, because it's a hot topic now, Connie.
Well, there's an effort to save Connie, and the person I interviewed yesterday on a Sunday, because I work all weekend.
Days off for
I tried to
Ronnie.
take Saturday off. I do try to take Saturday off. But he's the president of the Cetacean Society International, and
trying to save Connie the
they're
whole.
trying to
I think it's
find
got
a
to be
home
heavy
for
too.
Connie.
It's like cement, isn't it?
It weighs 45,000 pounds. They
That's
estimate.
it. That's it. All right.
That's it. Yeah, that's.
You mean a couple
But,
friends, we'll move that.
How many tons is that? I don't know.
A lot.
30 tons? Something like that? No, it's tons, 2,000 pounds, so it's a lot.
It's very cool and should not go to waste. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful, you would call that art, right? Piece of art or piece of?
It's sculpture. Sculpture. But my best story, oh gosh,
Yeah, it's very opinionated, but.
that's a tough one. One of the ones that I probably worked the hardest on kind of recently was one about the homeless or the people who ask for money on the corners of West Hartford.
That's a hot topic.
That was kind of a long story. There were a lot of pieces to it. I spent a lot of time working on that and really making sure that the facts were well checked and interviewing a lot of people.
Did you interview any people that were actually doing the panhandling?
I did not. I was only going to do that if I could do it with somebody else. I didn't feel comfortable doing that on my own. And I was actually urged by the police department that it was probably, that I should take someone with me if I did that. I am still planning a follow-up to that story. I have some research that I've done. So that's probably one of the ones that...
It's a very
yeah.
touchy subject because, it's starting to almost everywhere now. Everywhere in the center or by the highway or by Bishop's Corner, by the mall.
Yeah.
Could be overwhelming at times. But.
And there's it's a difficult topic and there is no one solution.
I know, and then where Facebook or Twitter, everyone is sitting behind a keyboard tough guys, and are being inappropriate and rude about the situation doesn't help. That's my take on it.
People are inappropriate and rude about things that I can't understand how they would find something to complain about.
Yeah, can't please everyone.
No.
You notice that sometimes?
Yeah.
You get what's the average comment where it's like a not nice one?
You mean what?
Do you have inappropriate comments daily or like occasionally or?
It really
most
kind
of the
of
time?
it kind of depends. So
Like the mascot topic?
Oh, the mascot topic is a big one.
panhandling
I've probably written over the years 10 or 12 stories that have had to do with the mascot or nickname in one way or another, and I'll be writing another one tomorrow. That's there's a lot of comments. Most of them in the most recent go around have actually been more polite than I expected them to be. But there are other stories that people have gone off kind of on the...
So when you post online, this is a PSA, be a good friend, right? Think. There's an acronym, THINK. I can't think of what it stands for, but T is like, take your time and think about it. H is like, I don't know. I forgot what they are at the time.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, you know them, right?
No, I actually don't. I was just making that up.
Yeah. And then it's just like, don't type something that you wouldn't say in front of your grandmother. Well,
I actually went on a little soapbox in my introduction to Business Buzz this morning because there have been a few stories lately where people have just not been kind and they haven't been good friends. And I feel like they're reacting maybe to a headline. Maybe I've failed in my headline writing. I actually work very, very hard to write a headline that's not clickbait. But you don't want the whole story in the headline because I'm spending time reading, writing the story. I want people to have the incentive to read the story. It's actually a very difficult task to write a good headline. And you have to tell just enough of the story.
Can I be a guest writer someday?
Absolutely.
Or is it editorial or just write a piece?
So, either one. I mean, we welcome contributions from the public. We do letters to the editor. We do op-eds. I have a couple of op-eds on the site right now about the warrior and mascot nickname topic. And we certainly publish press releases about events that are coming up. Like if you're running a fundraiser and you want to submit something, absolutely. We accept content like that.
All right, great. Well, thank you. Sorry I cut you off. I think you were saying something.
Oh, I was just talking about people not being kind to each other, and not being kind to business owners and residents. So not even directly fighting with each other, but putting these criticisms out there when they're just not really thinking about the impact of them.
We call it putting someone on blast. Like, you went to a restaurant and maybe the waiter took an additional 5 minutes to get to you. You don't need to go and run to the
Right,
internet.
it's like giving somebody a 1 star on Yelp because
and come to find out, those
your
can't
toast was
change. That's tough. A Yelp review means a lot because it's not like the restaurant can only go under and defend it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't change it. You can't reach out to Yelp and say, hey, that's not fair. Like, their opinion is now posted publicly, and it's one individual's opinion. They could have been having a bad day.
Right.
Every interaction doesn't need to be posted online, especially in a negative way. That's my take. I mean, you probably see it more than I do. And where'd you go to school?
College, or I went to Duke University.
Yeah, where's that? Where, hold on a second.
Oh,
let's go.
Yes, I love it.
So, if you go, are you a Cameron crazy?
I was a Cameron
Have you
crazy.
ever sat with the Cameron
I
crazies?
absolutely did.
That's bucket list
In
for me.
my 4 years at Duke, now this is back in the dark ages, but I only ever missed one game.
In 4 years?
In 4 years.
That is fantastic.
One home game where I wasn't on like
Cameron crazy.
break or whatever, but
Painted face, going crazy.
we didn't paint our faces back then. They hadn't invented it. No, but we
Were the seating arrangements still the same?
absolutely the
Students
same.
Were close?
Students were right there on, right along the floor, packed in like sardines. It was hot as anything in there.
Yeah.
Even if it was cold outside, it was, just sweltering hot in Cameron. And the atmosphere is just, it's so
bucket
awesome.
list. I want to see North Carolina at Cameron crazy. Have you seen what were some top-notch players when you were there?
Oh, you're gonna date me. Yeah.
Would you rather not? Who's your favorite? Were you there for Coach K?
I was there, when Coach
30
K
years,
first
right?
started.
First year, so yep.
Yeah, so a long time ago. He had just started. So I was
Yeah,
there.
he's done this year. How do you feel about that?
Jay Billis was there when I was there. Yeah, so.
I like Jay Billis.
Yeah.
No, Cameron crazy. I want to see the Giants at the Cowboys. I want to see Notre Dame playing Ireland, and I want to see a Cameron crazy game. Just to be there, like.
A Duke Carolina game is the absolute best.
You've been to how many?
I guess 4.
Definitely 4.
Yeah.
And have you been back since?
Not to a game.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure I'd want to go to a game and not sit in the student section. I've been back and had tours of Cameron, and I've sat in the seats, at a reception or something like that. I've been to Duke basketball games when they've been played in other places.
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden a couple of times.
Against St. John's. They do that a lot.
Yep, we've done that. The last one I saw was at whatever it's at the Meadowlands, whatever the indoor basketball arena is there. We actually took, it's been a while. We took my dad there. My daughter was a student at UConn, and it was a Duke UConn game. And my daughter wore her UConn gear. My dad wore Duke and UConn because my sister went to UConn and I went to Duke. And my husband and I had on our Duke gear. And our son, who eventually did go to UConn also, was wearing both.
Nice. And so Ted went to Duke too?
Ted went to Duke also.
Ted.
That's where we met. We met actually working on the Duke Chronicle, the newspaper there.
So he's in writing and editing too?
He's actually a compliance officer at Mass Mutual, but we both worked on the paper while we were in college.
Now, what makes Ted a good friend?
Ted is actually he is a volunteer extraordinaire. He's always volunteering for. He's been the chair of the No Webster House Board for a long time. He just accepted a position as a senior warden at St. James Episcopal Church, which is the church he grew up going to. He does a lot of work with Journey Home, starting from when it was a hand up. So he's always doing a lot of philanthropical
No, I love
things.
seeing Ted around. Ted is always donating to our can drive. Ted was riding bikes through the Park Road Parade, and just friendly. We talk and chat it up. So Ted, thanks for being a good friend. So no, it's great. And thank you for being a celebrity server at Rita's Italian Ice in 2019 and Donut Crazy in March of 2020. What was the biggest takeaway of being a celebrity server?
Well, I feel a little weird with this like celebrity title.
Oh no,
because,
in West Hartford, you're a celebrity.
well, it's fun to be in that position, getting to talk to a lot of different people, and knowing that what I'm doing, which isn't work, it's fun really, is helping out a good cause. So I've done celebrity, and I'm going to put the air quotes on it again,
Yep.
serving also for Effie's Place, for the
yep.
Park Road Parade fundraiser, and at Ben and Jerry's for the Gabriella's Scoop Night, which is Adria Giordano's fundraiser for Connecticut Children's Medical Center.
Gotcha.
So those are some of the other ones I've done.
Celebrity everywhere. That's awesome. So I got some pictures. Dave's going to put them up in color. My printer was off. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. This is our Donut Crazy. This was your 30 minutes. John Lyons.
Oh, yeah.
Great weather guy. You talked weather.
Yep.
Irene, who owns Donut Crazy.
Yep.
Mary Faye. I can't tell who that is. Oh, Brooke Daly.
Okay, I was trying to figure out
She's
who that
Fighters
was.
of Finn.
Yeah. She's awesome too.
So,
yeah.
Episode 10, Feeney Talks with Friend is Irene. And episode 15 is Brooke. So Brooke, yeah, Finn. Finn's my student.
Finn's.
I love Finn.
Finn is
like
such a cool kid.
Finn Friday.
Finn is great.
And your shirt says, WeHa is my friend.
Oh, okay.
WeHa is my friend. And
And
then
that was right before the pandemic, wasn't it?
it was
like
it was
a week
6
before.
days before. Yes.
Before the
Good
world
memory,
ended.
Yeah, because it was the last real fun event, in-person event.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, Dave will pop these up in color because Dave from Directline Media, which I forgot to shout out, this is all thanks to Dave at Directline Media and Owen for doing this wonderful podcast. He put up with me for almost 40 episodes. And thank you to Will.
I've got some great coffee because while I love beer, I didn't think that would necessarily help me speak clearly.
So yes, and thank you to Cody, who does the coffee, and Will, who does the beer. We're in WeHa Roasting and Brewing. And what do you think of the flag?
I love that.
Yeah, my buddy made
Love that flag.
We're gonna get you a WeHa.com
Oh, that would be
flag.
awesome.
A desk. You want a desk size?
Sure.
Or you want a big one?
Well, I don't know. I kind of like the big one.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
So I think I won one of those flags at an auction, and it's in my daughter's basement right
nice.
now. I mean, their finished basement. Not.
Oh wait, yeah, you did win one.
I did. But
you
I don't
win the
have
American
it anymore.
flag, or did-
It's an American flag.
And you gifted it?
I gifted it to my daughter
Is it
because
on
she
display?
absolutely loved it. It is on display. It is in their basement family room.
Nice.
Their man cave, basically,
On the wall?
on the wall.
Nice.
On
Can
the
you send
wall.
me a pic?
I'll try to do
Someday?
that. Yeah, next time I go over there.
What,
She has to invite
and what
me over.
minute are we? 40 minutes with Feeney, and this is my buddy. He's a Waterbury cop, one of my good friends. He does this to decompress. He goes in the basement. He loves it, and so yeah.
I like
Savage
the folk
pellet
art,
flags.
the folk art style of it. Yeah.
All right, and
I like it a lot.
it's currently on display. You heard it here, so he's gonna be happy to hear that. Yeah, I remember you now. I dropped that off at your house on the side.
Yeah, on my side porch. Yeah.
All right. Now it's all coming back to me. And then you are a celebrity server at Rita's. Mike Kent works at American Eagle Financial Credit Union. Sonar works for the Hartford Wolfpack. Me and you. And then your server time was there's David Off again, Leon,
Yeah.
Jeff Brand Insurance,
Okay.
Derek Slap.
Yeah.
He's episode 21. Nancy Sohn is episode 5. Nancy Sohn is our secretary of Friends of Feeney. She's the main reason we started it. She lost her husband while her daughter was in my class 9 years ago. But now, she kind of gives back and is passionate about helping other families, and she can empathize with them. And she's just the strongest person I know. That's Nancy Sohn. So episode 5, you want to check that out. And then Jeff Brand was also great, pulling our trailer in multiple parades. So, no, these are always good events, serving. So thank you again for serving. Dave's going to have these in color. Please forgive my black and white copies.
So you always have an awesome float in the Park Road Parade.
Yes, I think we won it like 3 times, maybe 4 times.
I pretty much always use it as my feature photo from that parade.
Nice.
Yeah.
You gonna keep doing it? Promise
Keep doing it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was so cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, Josh Sorrell, episode 24. He's a construction guy. I got the list right here, my cheat sheet of podcast guests. Josh Sorrell is awesome. He puts together the truck. He hung like the Be a Good Friend in cardboard. This year at the Park Road Parade, it was like our highest float. It was really, really proud of it. He was like, tell me, how do we do? And I'm like, best float. So it was great. Thank you for using the cover photo. Thank you for that. And thank you for being here. And thank you for being a good friend. Thank you for volunteering your time and being a celebrity server. Not celebrity. You're hard C, celebrity. No, thank you so much. And again, you published the story, Business Buzz, the Lions Auto. We collaborated. You mentioned earlier Journey Homes. We collaborated with Journey Homes, Food Share, Friends of Feeney. It was a great, I like that core unit. That was a good, we had Journey Homes getting furniture, Food Share getting food, and we were collecting cans and helping out.
We have more cans for the can drive too.
Yes.
That's my husband said. Ask Eric when the next can drive is. We've got a lot in our garage.
All right, Ted, we're gonna get one going. This weather is not very conducive for can drives.
Right.
Last year we did one in January and February, and it was like 5 degrees, and I couldn't walk my dog for like 3 days because I was like, my skin was still frozen. But we're gonna try to do another one. At any time, you can drop off at the West Hartford Redemption Center across from Chick-fil-A and see Chet. Chet is my guy, he's a friend. And you say, hey, these are for Friends of Feeney, and he's got an account built with us.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Or the
we will do that.
Lions Auto. They have a big bucket and basket. You just drop them down and say, hey, these are for Friends of Feeney.
Okay, perfect.
So 2 different spots. If we're not having a can drive, Lions Auto on New Britain Ave and West Hartford Redemption Center. I think that's Oakwood. Is that Oakwood? Do you know?
It's in that Oakwood Avenue extension area. But I do, yeah, it's over near the Brixton Street, maybe.
Oh, maybe it's Brixton.
It's in that area.
And then,
I gave up drinking soda pretty much, so that's cut down on the number of cans. But we do like craft beer in our house, so.
Do you have a favorite?
So that's hard to say.
Do you like a New Park, Treehouse, WeHa Roasting and Brewing?
WeHa Brewing. WeHa Brewing is awesome, and I try to support all of the local breweries. I love New Park Brewing also, and I love Treehouse also. I love Sip of Sunshine's been kind of one of my longtime favorites.
Seahag.
I like Seahag,
Yep.
yeah. And my daughter had her rehearsal dinner at Stony Creek, so we're big fans of like the cranky beer also. So
very cool. That's a good location.
Yeah. Really beautiful location right there, right in Brantford.
Oh, I was going to ask where it is. Brantford.
Yep, Brantford, right on the water.
So funny connection. I listen to Crime Junkie. I don't know. It's a podcast. I want to suggest and recommend other podcasts, but it's a great, if you're into crime. There was a crime in Nantucket, and the suspect was Feeney.
Oh.
So I was like, and the only reason I bring this up because you venture to Nantucket quite often, and it came up to me. Parkville Market, Twisted Italian. Do you ever go to Twisted Italian in Parkville Market?
Yeah.
Michelle, she's from Nantucket. So you got to talk Nantucket with her.
I actually have already.
You have?
The very first time I met her. I don't know how we ended up on that subject.
And because she goes, Feeney, there's a lot of Feeneys in Nantucket. Are you from Nantucket? And I'm like, no, I've never been actually. I want to go. Hint, hint, Ronnie.
It's beautiful.
I wanna go.
It's beautiful.
I don't know if you got a spot for me, but she's like, so then a week later, I'm listening to this Crime Junkie. So I don't know, do you know any Feeneys that had a crime at Nantucket?
I don't offhand.
But
Should
Twisted
I?
Italian's phenomenal.
Yeah,
No relation. I want to go on
Italian,
record.
It's great.
No relation to that Feeney, whatever he did, no relation to the
I'm going to have to look it up, though.
Look it up. So I thought it was like full circle. Nantucket, Michelle, Ronnie. Your Bearded Collie loves Nantucket.
Yes, Millie loves Nantucket. It's her happy place. She loves to run on the beach and chase seagulls.
Nice.
And my in-laws built a house there in the early 1970s, which is how our family has a place there now.
Oh, and why is it hashtag ACK?
ACK is...
Nantucket, ACK. I couldn't figure it
No,
out. Now
ACK
I got you here.
It's the airport is ACK. ACK is the call letters. Is that the right
Okay, but
right
you
term
take the
for
ferry
airport?
Over, right?
Yeah, but the airport is
But
ACK.
when you hashtag
just like BDL is the airport.
ACK.
So I don't know, ACK just somehow became what people call Nantucket.
So it's like the short hashtag code word, like
Yeah.
nickname, WeHa. Is that
Yeah,
the WeHa
exactly.
for ACK?
Yeah.
Is Nantucket? Okay. See,
Yep.
I've been wondering that every time. I'm like, what's with the ACK? I see the Bearded Collie. I see the beach.
Yeah.
ACK.
Hashtag Nantucket, hashtag ACK. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Are you ready for a game?
Ready for a game? Oh, I hope so. Do I need to have another sip of my coffee first?
So you have two choices. Well, we're going both.
I'm not very good at games.
Oh, well.
I'll warn you.
All right, so we'll start here.
I've been
then.
trying with Wordle.
Ooh, are you a Wordle person?
So I like Wordle, but I'm not very good at it yet.
Okay.
I'm not, I feel like I should be, because words are my business, like I
Right.
should be a really good word game person. But I'm not, I'm not good at Scrabble, and I'm kind of good at Boggle, but
Ooh, Boggle.
I like Boggle.
Have you posted your Wordle?
I posted the very first one,
Okay.
and it took me 6 tries,
Ooh.
or 5 maybe.
And did you feel bad? Like, oh, man, it's gonna take me 5 tries?
I
like how people flex, like, got it in 2. I'm awesome.
Yeah, no, that's the only one I've posted, and probably the only one I ever will, unless I happen to like get a hole in one.
That'd be great. Yeah. I have to admit, I do the Wordle, but I refuse to post it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Dix posts them. He's my buddy at school.
Okay,
And I'm
I
like,
love
"Dude."
Matt Dix.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I read his blog every single day.
And he has been doing that every day for like 20 years, blogging.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But stop posting your Wordle, Matt. No, we have a funny relationship. He's great. We golf together and hang out. But we like to bust each other. I've done a couple speak ups. It's a great program. Speaking of Matt Dix, you also do a podcast with John Lyons, and Matt Dix was a guest. So how's that podcast and with John Lyons?
It's more of like a Facebook Live
Facebook
show.
Live, yep.
So we tried it.
Roundtable.
We were trying to do it, every week or two, but work and life has gotten in the way. John was away for a while. We try to do it when there's kind of a hot topic to discuss. It really started with the beginning of the pandemic. It started the week before the pandemic, or a couple of days before things shut down, and then we use a platform called Be Live so that we can do it remotely. You can have 4 people on at once in
show your
little
screen.
Brady Bunch squares.
Nice.
But Be Live will go straight to YouTube and straight to Facebook Live. So it works pretty well. It's a fairly clear connection. It records, so it's worked well for us to use that platform.
How many guests have you had?
Oh gosh.
A lot? More than 10? More than 20?
Yeah, definitely. We had
nice.
the governor on, actually.
Oh, nice.
That was
Ned?
Ned was probably our
We gotta
most.
get Ned on here.
Yeah.
Going through pictures today, I got a picture of me and Ned. I worked I was a local political coordinator for the CEA, the Connecticut Education Association. We interview every governor that came on. I had a picture with Dan Malloy and Ned the first time around when Dan ended up winning. And Ned, and then, I think it was 8 years or 4 years later, Ned came on. But just saw that picture today too. So
Dan Malloy and I actually went to the same high school.
Oh, Stanford?
At West Hill.
Oh, West
from
Hill.
Stanford.
All right.
He's
Very
older
cool.
though.
Is he? Good. He was very thankful to teachers. He talked about having a speech issue and how his teacher really was helpful. And so when he, really sold us on teachers, I liked it. Then he rolled up his sleeves and he looked at us and he's like, if I lose, you all lose. lose. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about this. But he ended up winning, so we'll see. All right. Are you ready? These are crazy questions.
Pressure. Okay.
This is Irene, episode 10. Donut Crazy sponsored these questions. These are written by kids for you. All right, and they're all going to say their favorite restaurant. Before we begin, can you go on record with a favorite restaurant in West Hartford?
Oh, I have
Can't,
to be fair. No,
right?
I
That'd be
can't.
tough.
So when people have asked me what's my all-time, long-time favorite restaurant, it's got to be Brico because it's been here since the beginning, and it's pretty much where we've celebrated almost every anniversary. I go there other times too, but I really try to visit all of the restaurants in town. I think I've been to almost every single restaurant, other than maybe like a few tiny little ones.
And do you pay when you go out?
I do.
That's a question. No,
It's a question? Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I was always wondering that. Do you get a discount? Do you get a free app?
Every once in a while I get a free app.
So do I.
And it's more just because somebody says, I really want you to try this.
Yep. Like Billy will bring over something nice.
Somebody,
How about the Nutella pie at Brico?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
The best. I'll go on record
yeah.
might be the best dessert.
My favorite dish at Brico, because I'm really not like a sweet tooth person, is the salmon.
Ooh, yep. I just had
cedar
that.
plank salmon.
I just had that.
I actually saw Billy Grant last week when I was eating some salmon somewhere else, and at the Russell, the new Russell.
Oh, yeah.
And that salmon was amazing too. But Billy's is different, and Billy's is, I don't know, it's something unique about it. It's got some secret ingredient.
Ben Chayback, the director of High Meadow Camp, where I work, after our podcast, we went to Brico, and I had the salmon. Oh, can't beat it. All right, sorry, we got off track. Crazy questions.
Okay.
Would you rather live in New York or Boston?
Boston.
Would you quit your job for $1 million?
No.
Really? That was a good one. What was your first job?
My first job was a lifeguard for the Stamford Parks and Rec Department.
Nice.
Or babysitting.
This person's first favorite restaurant is hibachi. When did you start your career?
I started my first career right when I graduated from college, working for the Travelers as an underwriting and marketing person. But I started my journalism career, in 2000 maybe, 2001.
All right. Would you rather be the president or a podcaster?
I'd rather be a podcaster. Absolutely. I would not want to be president.
Favorite restaurant is Chipotle. Would you rather write about cats or dogs?
I would rather write about dogs because I own a dog, but I like cats too. I grew up with cats.
Would you rather write for the rest of your life or work for WeHa.com for the rest of your life?
Well, that's kind of both, but I don't think I could work for WeHa.com for the rest of my life because it's kind of a lifestyle that can't be sustained forever. It's a lot of work.
I know. You're like, I see you sometimes, you're like, I got to go write a story. And it's like the pressure, there's always a timeline, right? You have to get it done.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to wait a week on a story because then it's like old news.
Right. So sometimes I do wait too long. Sometimes those evergreen stories can wait. Sometimes feature stories take a backseat to the news because the news never stops. But yesterday I was having trouble with our site. In fact, we're migrating to a new server tonight, and that was already in the works. But yesterday we just had some pretty bad technical problems, and I left and went out to dinner because I couldn't get anything done. And I came back from dinner at 8:30, and I had 2 more stories to write.
What time did you end?
About 12:30
Man.
a.m.
And we have another hibachi vote. And this person loves Olive Garden. Would you rather eat 100 burgers or 100 hot dogs?
How about one of each?
All right.
I like hot dogs, though. I like burgers and hot dogs.
When did you become an editor?
I became an editor in 2004. That was my first job where my title was editor.
Would you rather eat a milkshake or a pizza?
Ooh. Probably a pizza, but I like a good chocolate milkshake every now and then.
Nice. What's your middle name?
My original middle name, my maiden when I still had my maiden name, was Maureen.
Nice.
When I got married, I kept my maiden name, which is Zimbler, as my middle name. So that's why the Z is my middle initial.
All right, cool.
Because I thought it was cooler.
Would you rather eat a hamburger with fries or hot dog?
Does the hot dog come with fries? Because I really like fries.
Yes.
So.
Another vote for hibachi. That's
Yeah,
3
you know what?
hibachis in a row.
Yeah, it doesn't. It depends. A good grilled hot dog, or there's a hot dog place in Mamaroneck, New York, which is where my mom's from, called Walter's Hot Dogs, and they actually have the world's most amazing hot dogs. So I would
Do they
pick
split them?
They're split, and they're
Split and
like
burnt?
kind of fried in like some kind of buttery secret concoction. And
I'm
they're
from Waterbury.
really good.
Frankie's hot dogs and Blackie's. If you ever want to try, take a little ride to Cheshire. Blackie's, they boil them, and there's this relish, and they kind of have a snap. Do you like to snap?
Yeah.
But Blackie's hot dogs.
Okay.
And I'll try Merrimack. Where is that again?
Mamaroneck, New York.
Mamaroneck.
Mamaroneck. It's in Westchester. It's near
Okay.
like Larchmont and White Plains, that area.
Gotcha. Favorite restaurant is Jake's Way Back. Do you like Jake's Way Back?
I haven't been there in a while, but yeah, I've had some good food there. Good burgers.
What's your favorite restaurant? Can you do a top 3? Brico? Prefer not.
Yeah, prefer not.
Another Olive Garden vote.
There's a lot of restaurants, so I think the kids maybe have a little more casual taste than I might have. I love like Zahara. I love Union Kitchen. I love the Zephyr's Pizza. That's where I ate dinner last night.
Oh, nice.
I love Toro Taberna, the new Smoked Public House, Frida, Max Oyster Bar, Savoy, Max Burger. Pretty much anything on
I'm going to
anything in the
Max's
center.
on Friday. Can't wait. Max's Oyster. We're celebrating with the camp guy, camp directors. We won best camp. So we're celebrating with the directors on Friday, Max's Oyster. So I'll see you there if you're there. Olive Garden, another Olive Garden. Favorite restaurant is McDonald's. Would you rather be a teacher or a babysitter?
A teacher.
Would you rather be got it. Favorite? Bugles Bagels. Bugles Burgers Bagel. Bugles Bagel. Burgers?
Burgers.
Burgers Bagel, that's what it says. Would you rather be an editor or a baseball player?
Oh, definitely an editor because I'm terrible at baseball. I'm very challenged when it comes to hand-eye coordination.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, it's got to be something salty, like French fries.
Nice. What's your favorite thing to edit?
Oh, my favorite thing to edit. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that question before. My favorite thing to edit is a story that's so well written that it really doesn't need editing.
You're just like, good.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a writer/author or a waiter at a restaurant?
Writer/author.
Would you rather...
I was a waitress for a couple of days, and it didn't go well. It's a tough job.
Would you rather be in a book or be on a plate? Or be a plate to serve food?
That's a tough one.
Would you rather...
I don't know how I would answer that.
Ooh, this is a good one. Would you rather eat 100 meals from the best restaurant in the world or eat 100 lollipops that are the best lollipops in the world?
Oh, 100 meals, definitely.
And her favorite restaurant is Nummy. You ever go to Nummy?
Oh, Nummy's really good.
Right?
Yeah.
That's in your bookend. Oh, no, it's actually not because Frida's like right here. Wait, no, it is Frida.
So I'm trying to think of what was in the Nummy space.
Yeah, what
I know
was
it was the New Asia Chinese restaurant.
And moved across the
right
street.
before.
Yep.
But back when I wrote that story in 2002, maybe, I don't know if that was a restaurant space or not. I can't remember.
Baseball. They asked the baseball picture because I showed them this picture. Do you remember that day?
Oh, yeah. Okay, at the Yard Goats game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love to watch baseball. I'm just not
I don't
good
think
at playing it.
we didn't really know each other at the time, and I'm like, hey, that's Ronnie. We're both throwing out the first pitch.
Was
Ronnie,
that
and it
was that when? So I was there with the Coman. Yeah. Right.
How do you know? Oh, because your hat or your shirt. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yep.
We were there for Woolcats Day, our school, and then you were doing, Coleman,
And I
the
did
cancer.
get to. Yeah. I did get to throw out a
I think
pitch.
he threw the ball better than I did because I dribbled mine in.
So my son played baseball and he pitched. So I had him actually teach me how to properly throw a
practice?
baseball. Oh my God, I
For the
definitely
week
practiced.
prior, how long?
Oh,
Week, 2 weeks,
maybe,
2 hours.
maybe a week, maybe a week.
All right, couple more crazy. Are these crazy enough for you?
These are good. These are good.
Would you rather have a pet or a pet snake? A pet. I can't read that one. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Another hibachi. Is Feeney your friend?
Feeney is definitely my friend.
How did you meet Mr. Feeney?
Wow, I don't remember. How did we first meet? Was it that day?
It might have been that
Might have
day.
been that day.
Of course, I knew of WeHa.com, and I was like, went up to you like you were a celebrity and said hi.
I'm pretty
I'm a
sure I also
teacher.
interviewed you at Wolcott about something, and I might
Well,
have
maybe a first day of school,
I might have
but
written
you
the
missed
story.
me this year. I'm really mad about that.
I missed you.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
It's already pointed out who you're gonna interview. I was in there once for the
I was
first day of school.
told. I was told who I
Yeah, you
needed
were.
to interview. Yeah.
Favorite restaurant, Panera. And we know you have a pet. Where were you born?
I was born in Port Chester, New York, but
Nice.
I lived my first 2.5 years of my life in New Rochelle, New York,
Okay.
which is not that far from Mamaroneck, where Walter's Hot Dogs is.
I'm gonna try that.
But
Walter's hot dogs.
My father went to New Rochelle High School, and that's where his parents lived, and we lived not with his parents, but in that town.
Gotcha.
And then I moved to Stamford.
Would you rather write 90 million words or eat 9 hamburgers?
I'd go with the hamburgers, I think. 90 million is a lot of words, although I don't know how many words I've written over the course of my life. Could be that many.
Do you make YouTube videos?
I guess I'd have to say yes, because we do the Facebook Live and they go on YouTube. I don't make TikTok videos, though.
Can you do the TikTok dance?
I did one once with my daughter right at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Nice. I've yet to do one. Shake Shack's their favorite. Would you rather smell or be a pickle forever?
I don't know. That's kind of a weird question. I like to eat pickles, though.
Oh, what's your favorite subject? What was your favorite subject in school?
Gosh. I would say it was English, but I didn't go to school to become a writer, and I wouldn't say I'm a creative writer, but I have always really, really liked to read, and I took extra English classes when I was in high school. I have much greater appreciation for history now than I ever did. When I was in high school, I took a course called Senior Seminar, and it was kind of a philosophy course, and I loved that. That was probably my favorite class I took all through high school, and I still really have an interest in philosophy, political philosophy,
Nice.
not on a highbrow level, but on a how does it relate to life level.
You ever plan to write a book?
Probably not, unless it's helping someone write a memoir. I could see doing that, but I'm not a creative writer. I don't have characters floating around in my head, clamoring to get
You
out.
like more detail oriented or
I like.
factual?
It's funny because I read mostly nonfiction, other than articles in, newspapers and magazines. But I'm not one to pick up a nonfiction book. I really like a good story, but when I write, I don't have those characters in my head. I admire people so much who do, though.
How many miles did you run this morning?
0.
How about over the weekend?
Over the weekend, I did not run. I cross-country skied about 2 miles on the Rockledge Golf Course
Okay.
on Sunday. I ran one day last week, like 4.5 miles with a friend, so that's probably the most I've done
How about Ted?
recently. Ted actually didn't run this weekend because of the weather. He skied with me though.
Yeah, how is that cross-country skiing? A lot of people
Awesome.
speak very highly
Yeah.
of the Rockledge.
It's beautiful. We live about a quarter mile from it, and it's just absolutely such a gem to have right there, basically in our
Great cardio,
backyard.
too?
Oh yeah.
Like running?
Yep. Yeah, gets your heart going.
I've
I
never
got
done it.
intensity minutes on my, on my Garmin watch.
You're not locked in, right? They kind of kick up to get that.
The front of your boot is locked into the ski, but your heels are
And that's how
able
you get
to
going.
move. So you glide. Yeah.
Can you go downhill and ski a little bit if needed, or are you pretty much only
You can't
flat
go like
ground?
that, but no, you can go downhill, but you
Okay.
can't.
You can't like.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever
No.
that's called.
Yeah. You have to.
French fry pizza.
You have to kind of pizza wedge to stop, and it's a little challenging.
Okay. How about
No French fries,
snowshoeing?
though.
Can you snowshoe over there?
You can. A lot of people were actually snowshoeing.
We just got a set of snowshoes.
It's a great place to
Never
snowshoe.
snowshoed either.
So that's fun. I have snowshoes also.
What do you like better, snowshoe or skiing?
It really kind of depends on the conditions. I'm probably more apt to go out cross country skiing because if the skiing is good, then I'll take advantage of cross country skiing, and then other times I'll just get too lazy about. I don't like the cold, so I'll stay inside, or I'll do a workout at the gym, or do a video workout at home.
That's so cool. Hold on, we got to get a picture. Owen, we got to get a photo. Hello, we got traditional stuff, and then we're done here. We don't have time for Incohearent. Incohearent is a great, so it's like a gibberish game. If you say can you read that out?
Taco Tuesday.
And then that's Taco Tuesday.
Oh.
So you say it. All right, we'll play one time. Come on.
Okay.
Real quick. Well, let's look for. Yeah, gonna look nice. We'll take a little pause here. WeHa.
All right.
So,
Can you get me a picture of that too? Can I share it on
of course.
social media?
Of course, definitely. All right, so it's gibberish. The more you say it.
Bulling Kennel Nidor.
All right, we're gonna play real quick. Incoherent with Feeney. Here with Ronni Newton at WeHa.com. Say it a couple times out loud. It means no sleep.
What? Bulling Kennel
So I'll give you a
Kennel Nidor.
So pulling an all-nighter.
Pulling an all-nighter. Okay.
All right, you got this. This is Spider-Man.
Tom Holland. Tom Holland. Okay.
All right, you're gonna get this one.
Mission Impossible. Boom. All right. I got that one.
Incoherent with Feeney.
Billie Eilish.
Yes, you are good.
OMG.
So it's an abbreviation for
OMG?
a big reaction.
Okay.
Incoherent. Just when we said we weren't gonna play. Oh, and what minute are we playing Incoherent so we know? Hour 10.
Oh, wow. Dwayne Dr. Hawk Johnson. Dwayne Dr. Hawk Johnson.
Famous actor and wrestler.
Dwayne and somebody Johnson. Dwayne.
He's in all the movies now. Biggest
Okay.
actor around.
Yeah,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock. Okay.
All right, last one.
That's a bad one for me.
Teacher's favorite day.
First day off summer. First day of summer.
Boom. That was fun. Incoherent. They play this
That's
on
fun.
Fridays
That's fun.
and Saturdays here. There's an adult version.
Okay.
This is the family version.
Okay. All
It's
right.
lots of fun. Definitely, if you get the family together, your son and daughter will love that. You get screaming. It's lots of fun.
My family would probably like the adult version.
Yes.
Yeah, my kids are adults, 23 and almost 27.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, if you play, what's another game? Yeah, but you would definitely, it's a great time. Again, we played Incoherent. We did crazy questions. We've talked about WeHa.com. I can't thank you enough for sitting down and talking on the Feeney Talks with Friends podcast. Any closing remarks?
Thank you for having me on, and keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing such a great service for this town, and it's people like you who make West Hartford really such a special place. And I welcome the opportunity to share the stories about the good things that you're doing, because that makes my job really important too.
Well, thank you, Ronni. Thank you so much. That
Makes
means
it
a lot.
worthwhile.
I really appreciate your kind words, and thank you for your business buzz and writing how our nonprofit got started and our upcoming fundraisers when you always post, and I can't thank you enough. And you are WeHa. You are the community of WeHa, and we look forward to your writing. And I was really enjoyed talking with you. So thank you so much. And we'll say, be a good friend on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Be a good friend.
All right. Thanks, Ronni.